Hi, this is lecture number 8 in 8th week. In last week, May 1st, we just finished midterm exam. And we'll have, after this midterm exam, online quiz number 2. That will be 50 points, and that will be held in June 12th. That is Friday. And from 6 o'clock to 6:20 p.m. About the whole grading, I will briefly introduce this one, even though this one is introduced already in the syllabus. But I will explain a little more in detail about that grading. We did already this practice quiz test. That will be 10 points. And we finished quiz number 1, and that was 20 points. And assignment number 3, or homework number 3, that is 10 points. And remaining another assignment, that is assignment number 6, that will be 10 points. Then if we add up together this, and this, including this, then those will be 100 points. This one will be applied to the final grading, and that will be the 20% portion of the whole final points. That means 20 points. As I explained already, we have some videos, and that, even though that is assignment or homework, just watching that video, that's it. You don't need to submit anything about that. But I may ask in the quiz test or even in the final exam. Homework number 1, number 2, we finished, and remaining homework or assignments, homework or assignment number 4 and number 5. Those are just for watching videos, YouTube videos. Those try to understand those video contents. And we finished that midterm exam in last week, May 1st. That will be 100 points. And you know that your points, because that is announced already in the blackboard. That will be 20% for the final grading. That means 20 points. And we have online final exam left. That is 100 points, and 50% for, that will be 50% for final grading. That means this one will be converted to 50 points for final grading. And finally, after completion of this semester, the attendance check will show your result, and that will be 100 points. And that will be 10% for the final grading. That means that will be converted to 10 points for the final grading. Thus, if we summed up together, then that will be 100%, and in terms of points, that will be 100. And that will be the points for the final grading. And as we did already, for the online quiz test as well as for the online final exam, we are using online lecture. There's we should use again that the URL for online test, blackboard.sejong.ac.kr, same URL, and you can use your PC or smartphone. If your favorite device is PC or smartphone, it doesn't matter, but you should be very familiar to that device. And please do not use, as I announced already, for the previous online quiz test or even for the midterm exam, you should not use Blackboard app, and always you should use this URL for the remaining online quiz test number 2 as well as online final exam. Okay, and today we'll start the lecture for the JavaScript. Let me jot down here. Today we'll start the JavaScript, and still we'll use w3schools.com URL, and we are using that contents, and especially this JavaScript tutorial we'll use. And I will introduce again briefly due to that the announcement in the bulletin board in the W3 this wopen.com. That bulletin board I will briefly introduce about this, and also that announcement is uploaded already in the Blackboard. Thus always you can understand the plan for the remaining lectures. Okay, let's move to today's lecture about JavaScript in w3schools.com. Okay, before going into the JavaScript tutorial, let's look at briefly the announcement shown in this bulletin board. You can come here from this youngkim.net. This is a simple web page, and if you click this one, then you can reach there like this. This is announcement bulletin board. Also, same announcement you can see in the Blackboard. Also, similarly, you can come here directly from this one, wopen.com URL. If you are using this URL, then you can see somewhere on the top, because most recently updated that title will be shown on the top. Thus, if you click this, then you can see like this. I inserted this one to explain a little bit about the iframe. We learned about this already, and for example, this one is you can see the iframe element here. If I am using that edit mode, then you can see the video code here. Then simply we can show this one. This one is about the COVID-19, May 3rd, the worldwide world situation. Okay, you can refer to that if you are interested in. And I will explain about this. If Blackboard system is not stable enough, then please watch more stable YouTube videos instead. Those are announced already. and you can click here, then you can come here again, then you can see the previous YouTube videos about our lectures. We'll be back. Okay, our online lecture is extended until final exam, June 26th. On June 26th, we'll take the final exam. Okay, previous YouTube lecture videos uploaded already, and those are same as in the Blackboard video. And this one about the grading, even though I explained already, to make sure I'll explain about this again. Midterm exam 20%, final exam 50%, and the quiz and homework or assignment 20%. The attendance check, the result will be 10%. And online quiz number 2, as I explained already, on the whiteboard, that will be the 50 points, and we'll take that quiz number 2, June 12th, 6 o'clock. You should try to start the quiz right on this time. If you are late, later I will show you some warning. If you are late, for example, if you are late around 5 minutes, then I will subtract from 6:05. I will subtract your points. Thus, please try to start your online quiz test. That will be same for the final exam. You should start the final exam right on this time. If you are late, for example 7:05, then from that time I will subtract, depending upon your delay, to start how much you were late. Depending upon that, I will subtract from 7:05. Okay, whole quizzes will be 80 points, and to submit homeworks, that will be 20%, as I explained already. The whole aggregated summed up points will be 20% for final grading. Midterm exam you took already, this one in last week, that will be 100%, and that will be 20% for final grading. And finally, for the final exam, this will be 100 points, and finally there will be 50% for final grading. Attendance, as I mentioned already, 10% will be applied for the final grading. And please keep in mind the time, final online exam, and before that, quiz number 2, the schedule, June 12th. This one is 6 o'clock, this one is 7 o'clock. You should start at this time. For the final exam, I will explain a little bit more in detail later, but in advance, the scope will be some portion, HTML forms section, and the graphics, media, and the CSS. Those will be added. And JavaScript, HTML APIs we will learn later. This because those are using JavaScript, and jQuery we will learn later. And assignment, homework assignment, number 4, 5, 6. Those are the scope for our final exam. If you have any question about this lecture, then please ask in the Q&A menu in the Blackboard, or you can send email to me. Okay, about the assignment number 4 or homework number 4, that due date is May 15, 6 p.m. This is just watching videos here, 3 videos, YouTube videos. Simply you can watch and try to understand. Those are about the JavaScript, and I'll try to refresh. Yeah, those are mainly for JavaScript tutorial and additional supplementary YouTube videos, and this one will be used for reference to understand better about JavaScript. 3 videos. And after that, assignment number 5 is mainly about Node.js. This Node.js, what's that? Try to understand that. And our JavaScript can be used even in the server side. Thus you can try to understand this one. After watching these 3 videos, you can understand better. And after that, we will take online quiz test, that is quiz number 2, June 12th, as I explained already. You should try to keep the starting time. You should start 6 o'clock. Okay, that will be 50 points and 25 questions. And that is mainly about the JavaScript. And finally, you will finish this assignment number 6 until June 19th, and that will be announced later. I am considering to organize that the assignment number 6. And some references here. If you have time, then you can refer to these references. Those are mainly related to this artificial intelligence using JavaScript, TensorFlow, and Node.js relate to this artificial intelligence. That topic is hot issue, and this JavaScript may be used for that. Okay, that's it. And let's move to today's lecture about the JavaScript in wswiss.com. Okay, here you can click this tutorial, then you can see this JavaScript. Here you can see JavaScript and the jQuery and some others. We'll try to complete these 2 tutorials in this semester, mainly JavaScript. This tutorial, let's look at the menu first. Here many chapters in this JavaScript tutorial, and we will try to complete all of them, but some chapters may be skipped, then I will announce later, because those skipped chapters will be omitted or excluded from the scope of the online quiz number 2, as well as in the final exam. Those chapters will be excluded. I will announce later. Anyhow, we'll try to complete almost all of them. Like this. And we'll try to complete until here. Okay, let's start from the first chapter, this one. And this one is introducing briefly about the structure of this tutorial. And this is very similar to the other tutorial structure, HTML, as we learned already. Very similar, and that is repeating again about the structure. Very similar to the CSS structure also. Okay, JavaScript is the program language of HTML and the web. And this one is easy to learn, and this is very similar to the C language. And you learned already about the C language. Thus, this one will not be very difficult. You can understand. A little bit easier to understand if you are understanding the C language. Okay, this tutorial will teach you the JavaScript from basic to advanced, and this one is explaining about the structure or organization of this tutorial. Many examples, and in each chapter there are some examples, and also we'll use this try it yourself editor. This one is provided by this wcs.com. Also, you can try your Visual Studio Code editor or any other Edit Plus or Notepad++ you can use if we want. Okay, here let's try to click this one. Then you can see the current time. If I am clicking this one, we can see this one. JavaScript is showing this information. Okay, let's look at the real source code for that. Here, button. This one is button. Initially, this one is the string of this button, and if you click this one, then you can see the current time. And here, which one is JavaScript? Here, this one, until here. Inside of this double quote, this statement is JavaScript statement we learn. And this is called onClick event, and this is called onClick event handling program, written in JavaScript, and a very simple JavaScript statement. We'll learn about this one, and at this moment simply you can see this dynamic user interface, and that is provided by this JavaScript. That's it. Let's move to the next. And this one is providing many examples. And also this one is explain about the reason why we are learning this JavaScript. JavaScript is one of the 3 languages all web developers must learn. We completed already HTML and the CSS. To complete the application for the web service, we should understand, including this JavaScript. This one is the program about the behavior of web pages. And even though this one is using Java, the characteristic Java here, that is different from this Java language. Those are complete different languages, both in concept and design. And this JavaScript was invented by this gentleman in 1995, Brandon, and became the ECMA standard in 1997. And actually this ECMA script, that is the specification of this JavaScript, and that is the official name of this language. Okay, this one is showing some references about the JavaScript, and you can refer to these references. And also this one is providing many exercises as we used already in the previous HTML tutorial as well as CSS tutorial. Same here, but JavaScript. You can try to understand better about this JavaScript. And some quiz test about this JavaScript, this one is also provided. You can try by yourself. And also for these companies' revenue, these companies providing online certification, and this is mainly for their business, and you don't need to worry about that. This chapter is the real first chapter for this JavaScript tutorial. This page contains some examples of what JavaScript can do. And JavaScript can change HTML content. And we should use this one. Thus we'll try to understand fully about this one first, because we are using this one for many other examples about JavaScript. This is, as the name is self-explaining, this one is getting element by ID name method. This example uses the method to find an HTML element with ID name demo and changes the element content to hello JavaScript. This is the property to change. Hello JavaScript, that is the contents to change. If we are using this property name, then that will be changed like this. Okay, here let's look at this one first. Let's try. Click me. What can JavaScript do? JavaScript can change HTML content. Here, click me. Then you can see these changed contents. Okay, let's go back to the previous one. Let's start from the beginning. Okay, what can JavaScript do? I will not explain about the HTML and the CSS contents here. We'll focus on the JavaScript statement. Even though those are integrated together, and we are using the HTML element, later also we'll use CSS element later, CSS style later. Here button type button is showing this button, and if I am clicking this one, then this on-click event is happening. Then this event handling program, that is JavaScript statement here. Then this JavaScript statement is composed of this object name document and some method to get some element that ID name is demo here, and this inner HTML is the contents related to that element. If we are changing, this assignment means changing the inner HTML, means this one, that contents will be changed to hello JavaScript like this. In this way we can change the contents of this element. ID name is demo, and specifically we can select this method. With this method we can do that. Get element by ID name demo. After selecting that object, we can change that property. That property is the contents of this in HTML. We can change that. Also, let's look at this single quote. If I am using double quote, then what's happening? Then duplicated double quotation character here, also here. Then let's look at the result. I'll try to click, and this one is not running properly, and we cannot see the right result. This is wrong. If I am using the double quote here, then inside there should be single quote, as we learned already. I am reminding. Also, this one should be single quote, like this. Then it is working well. Let's move to the next. JavaScript accepts both double and the single quotes. This one is explaining about that. Okay, this one is explaining the same quote here, double quote outside, inside the single quote, as I showed you already. And this JavaScript can change HTML attribute values. We learned already about these HTML attribute values. What is HTML attribute? This. In this example, JavaScript can change the values of src attribute of an image tag, image element. For example, here, turn on the light. You can click this one, then you can see that color is being changed. And turn off the light, then it is changing the background color here. Okay, how to implement? We are using I'll try to reduce to see all of them. Okay, here I am clicking this one, turn on the light. We are using two buttons here. One left side button and the right side button. And image is this one. ID name my image, and that image source is this GIF image, and the size width 100 pixel. You can try to change that. How about half of that size? If you click this one, then this event handling program that is written in JavaScript that is running, and this one source, that is the attribute name of this image element, that will be changed. Original value was this, and we can change it to this one. Picture verb 1 is this. We have two images. One image is this one, yellow color, and this one is gray color. It seems to be gray color to show the light off effect. Here we can use this instead. In this way we can show that effect. Turn on and off, we can show that effect. Here we can change HTML styles. In the previous example, we can change that HTML attribute value, and also here we can change the style value. Here, style. Okay, let's try to learn this one first. Click this one, then you can see this new character string is shown here. Yeah, let's look at this real source code. If I am clicking that, let's start from the beginning. Okay, if I'm clicking this one, you can see this click event is happening, and this click event handling program, that statement is JavaScript statement that is running. And here it is get element by ID name demo here, that style. Here no style, right? This is using just default style, but we can provide some style. It is style, and the value thus here we can use the method as well as the properties for them, and we can show some dynamic effect using JavaScript. 35 pixel like this. How about 3 pixel? Then you can see that shrunk character string. Also, this hiding effect we can show. In this introduction chapter, this one is showing briefly some dynamic effect using different contents, and each one will be discussed later in other chapters. This one is briefly introducing various effects. Hiding HTML elements can be done by changing the display style. Okay, even though we learn this display in the CSS, then maybe explained later. Anyhow, in advance, this one is being introduced here. The style, this is CSS style, and the property display, that value will be assigned with this none. Then nothing is here, because that display is containing none value. In this way, we are learning even that the style and the property and the value can be changed, and we can show different effects. Also, we can show the CSS style, and as we learned already, CSS style has properties, and depending upon the property value, we can see effect, different style effect. Okay, block means appearance, to show. This one is appeared. With this block value, we can show. This kind of effect can be implemented using JavaScript. Then this one is simple question about using JavaScript. How do I get JavaScript? Where can I download JavaScript? Is JavaScript free? And this may be some curious thing, but this is so simple, and this is the answer for them. You don't have to get or download JavaScript, because this JavaScript is already running in our browser, on our computer, or on your smartphone, and that is free to use. And then where should put in this JavaScript code? We can put in this script tag here, script/script. Inside of that, we can put in our JavaScript code like this. And this one is about JavaScript functions and events. And we can use, like other programming language, JavaScript functions, and that will be more convenient if we have many built-in and certified function, and we have function library, then we can use. Also, we can put in that the head section or body section, we can put this JavaScript in that head or body section. Our JavaScript can be placed in the body or in the head section. For example, in the head section, we can put in like this. Head section, we can put in that script/script. Those are JavaScript block. Okay, you can try. Also, we can cut this one and we can paste here. Instead of in the header section, we can get the same result. Does this script block, JavaScript block, can be put in here, header section, or in this body section? Like this. Okay, I explained a little bit more in advance. Let's try to move to the next. Also, we can put in external file, like the external CSS file. Okay, this is the JavaScript statement, and this one can be in the external file, and the external file name is myscript.js. Here, then simply we can bring. How? In this way. Like the method, how we can bring the CSS external file. Here, script. This is JavaScript, and this external file can be brought and put in here. And the external file name, myscript.js. And we are supposing that myscript.js is located in this same folder. Then we can get the same result. My function is stored in an external file called myscript.js. There's to use this external JavaScript file, that file extension name, that should be JS. Like the CSS, external CSS file, that should be CSS, because that is CSS file. For this JavaScript file, that should be JS. That extension name is JS. Okay, after closing some open tabs, let's continue. And if we are using the external JavaScript file, then there is some advantage. Like the CSS, external CSS file, pressing JavaScript in external files has some advantages like this. It separates HTML and code, and it makes HTML and JavaScript easier to read and maintain. And cached JavaScript files can speed up page loads. Here we can add several script files to our single page using this source attribute and that file name here. Then we can bring from outside. Also, this one is same. If that is located in other folder or other server, and that URL, full URL should be specified here, then we can bring even other files located in other server. Depending upon the location of that file, if that is located in other folder in the same computer, then we can specify like this, the path name, as we learned about this already, and that is same scheme we can use. You can try others. Then to make sure the result, how to show that JavaScript output and how to display the output, there are several ways. Okay, JavaScript can display data in different ways. As we learned already, writing into an HTML element, we can change that contents as we did already in the previous example. We can use this property name inner HTML, and we can use this method document.write. We can show out our output on the screen, and Also, we can use this alert box, and also another way, we can use this browser console.log. That is very convenient to debug our JavaScript statements. Later we'll use this console.log. First one, using inner HTML. To access an HTML element, JavaScript can use this. This one was introduced already, but let's try to look at again here. This ID, as we learned already, ID attribute. With this one we can differentiate between other elements. ID attribute defines the HTML element. This inner HTML property defines the HTML contents. Thus, we should select first to apply our JavaScript statement and dynamic effect based on that. First, we should select. Thus, with this ID, get element by ID, and if we are providing that ID name here, then we can specifically select to apply. Okay, here demo. There are several other elements. Even though there are several other elements, we can apply specifically to this one because we are selecting that demo ID. And this inner HTML is the contents of that element, and nothing is here. And after this calculation of this arithmetic operation, the result will be shown here like this. If I am okay, this one is showing the result already. Okay, JavaScript statement for comments, we can use this one. Then this one is comment statement, or we can use later. We learn this one, but before learning that to use this comment statement, let's learn in advance. This one is another way to make this one comment statement. Then you can see this one is not running, and if we are removing this one, then we can learn this statement. Okay. Using another one, using documented write. How to show out, how to output, how to show output on the screen. There are several ways. We are learning each one. This one is documented write. With this method, we can show the result like this. We are using this statement. Then the result after calculation of this arithmetic operation, the result will be shown on the screen like this. Thus, in this way, we can show the output after learning the JavaScript statement. Another way, but we should be careful about this. If we are using this documented write after an HTML document is loaded, then this one will delete all existing HTML. Okay, anyway, we'll look at that later, and we should be careful about that. Okay, here probably this one is showing that. This one is using document.write. In this way, we can show after clicking. This one is event handling, click event handling program, JavaScript program, and we can see the result like this. But the others, this one was introduced already, explained already. This one is deleting or erasing all existing HTML statement. Thus, this document.write method should only be used for testing. Okay, another one to show the result on the screen. As we learned already, window.alert. This alert method is belonging to that window object, and if that is the window object, then we can omit this one until here. Here, window.alert. This is JavaScript statement, and we can see the result. But this one is alert statement using JavaScript. This alert is function method for that. And if we are removing this one, if that is window object, then we can remove that. Only for the window object we can do that. We can get the same result. Even though we are removing that window object, we can get the same result. Console.log. For debugging purpose, we can use, probably later we'll learn, we'll use this one a lot. We can call the console.log method in the browser to display data. Here, this one is not shown here. But if you are using F12 button on your keyboard, will activate debugging. Then select console in the debug menu, then click done again. Sometimes it is not working, then it doesn't matter. Later I will show you. More tools and the developer tools. And here you can see console, and you can see the EC11 is shown here. After learning, you can see this 11 is here. Okay, if you are learning again, then you can see the result is here. If we are changing this one, learn, you can see. If we are learning again, then you can see another result. With this method, we can show out the result on the screen. Then we can debug in easy way. This console.log will be used mainly for the debugging later. In this chapter, we are learning briefly about that. Another method to show the output on the screen. JavaScript does not have any print object or print method. We cannot access output device from JavaScript. And we can show the result on the screen. Print this page like this. And you can try later. Bison is not used a lot. You don't need to worry about that. And statement. JavaScript statement, as we learned briefly. In this JavaScript, we can use this slash, double slash. Then this single line after this, that will be assumed the statement, comment statement, like this. Another way, this statement, if we are changing that the JavaScript statement to the simple comment statement, then we can make it easy to debug sometimes. This you can use later. And semicolons separate JavaScript statement. Add a semicolon at the end of each executable statement, like this. In a single line, we can enumerate the JavaScript statement multiply. Multiple statements can be one in the single line, like this. That is allowed, but those each statement, each one, should be separated using this semicolon. And the JavaScript ignores multiple spaces. Even though there are many spaces, this one is ignoring that. Those are same. Even though this one is before and after equal sign, there is some space, and this one is exactly same to this. But a good practice is to put intentional space before and after that operator. JavaScript line length and line break. Sometimes, for best readability, programmers often like to avoid code lines longer than 80 characters to simplify in terms of readability. If a JavaScript statement does not fit one single line, the best place to break it is after an operator, like this. JavaScript code blocks. JavaScript statement can be grouped together in code blocks inside curly brackets, like this, like C language. And there are many keywords, and we should not use that keyword for our JavaScript variable keyword, like this. And we learn each one of them later in other chapters. Those are keywords, built-in keywords. We should not use for our variable names, like our other program language. Let's try to complete this section after finishing this syntax. Okay, until probably comments, because that is so simple. Syntax is like this. JavaScript syntax is the set of rules how JavaScript programs are constructed. Please remind your C language. You are very familiar to that language, and this is very similar, and something is almost same. How to declare variables, how to assign values, initial values, how to compute values, and the fixed values are called literals, and the variable values are called variables. And for example, JavaScript literals we can use decimal notation or without. Strings, we can use single quote or double quote. Variables, we can use var keyword to declare variables. As you learned already in other programming language, the meaning of variables, that is mainly to store data in a certain area of the memory. Okay, and if you are considering the C language, and you can see these JavaScript operators, and almost same, and sometimes it is similar and almost same. Okay, I'll skip some simple contents. And here, something special I'll try to mention specifically about that. The values can be of various types, such as numbers and strings. You can use this, for example, John, and quoted with the double quote, and this one and this, and you are using plus sign here, and this one is not arithmetic plus sign. This one is the concatenation operator. If the one of the operand that is character string or character, then this plus sign is working as a concatenation operator, like this. Even though this one is numeric number, let's change 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one is considered as a character string, and this one is concatenated like this sequentially. And to declare a variable, we can use this var keyword. This one is telling the browser to create variables. Even though we are not using this var, we can declare. Later we'll look at. And now if we are declaring intentionally using that var keyword, then we can declare variables in JavaScript. JavaScript commands here, as we learned in advance, this double slash or slash and asterisk slash is closing that. If we are using multiple comment line, then we can use this one. Even single line, we can apply this one. But this one is mainly for single line comment statement. JavaScript identifiers. Identifiers are names, and the rules for legal names are much the same in most programming languages. You can remind C language and any other language like Python. This is almost same or similar. The first character must be a letter or an underscore or a $sign we can use. But you should not use numeric number. Then it cannot be the variable name. And the JavaScript, you should be careful about this. JavaScript is case sensitive. Thus, if you are using this last name here, n is lowercase character and this one is uppercase character. Those are different variable names. Here, let's look at this real example. Here, last name here, those are two different variable names because this n, this is capital N, this one is lowercase character, and there's here, if we are trying to show the result on the screen, the variable name is last name here, and this one is for that, and this one is different one. Thus the result will be like that, this one. And you should be careful about that. JavaScript variable is case sensitive. That means uppercase character and the lowercase character, those are different. JavaScript and the camel case. Camel, you know the camel, that animal camel, and low camel case, this one. In the middle, one is single character, this one is uppercase, and this one is like a camel. Okay, let's try to complete this command, and because that is simple and we learned already in advance, let's try to finish this one, and let's try to wrap up this lecture. JavaScript commands can be used to explain JavaScript code and to make it more readable, like other programming language command statement. Single line command like this, and for multiple lines, even for single line, we can use that slash asterisk and asterisk slash. We can close that command statement. But mainly for multiple command statement, we can start with this slash opening slash asterisk, and we can closing with this asterisk slash. Then any text between these one will be ignored by JavaScript, and that is considered as a command statement like this. Sometimes we can use this one to debug, and we are using this one to make a normal statement to make that command statement for debugging purpose. Also in this way we can do that. Okay, let's try to wrap up this lecture here, and from next lecture we'll start from these JS variables.